In the NFL, there are players who change the game, and then there are players who define it. For a decade, opposing quarterbacks and wide receivers had a singular, shared nightmare: Darrelle Revis. Revis didn't just cover receivers, he erased them, making a team's biggest playmakers obsolete for the entirety of the game, putting them on what's known as Revis Island. Welcome back to 4th and Goal, where today we're going to look into the story of one of the most dominant quarterbacks in NFL history. This is Darrelle Revis. To understand the legend of Darrelle Revis, we have to go back to his roots. Born on July 14, 1985 in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, Revis grew up in a town known for producing NFL talent. Aliquippa High School was the launch pad for future stars, and Revis quickly made a name for himself, dominating on both sides of the ball. But it was at the University of Pittsburgh where he began to show the world what he was capable of. At Pitt, Revis was a standout from day one. His combination of speed, intelligence, and physicality made him a lockdown corner. By his junior year, he was one of the top defensive backs in college football, earning first-team All-American honors. It was no surprise when he declared for the NFL Draft in 2007, where he was selected 14th overall by the New York Jets. From the moment Revis stepped onto an NFL field, it was clear that he was special. But it wasn't just his athleticism that set him apart, it was his meticulous preparation, his understanding of the game, and his relentless work ethic. These qualities would soon give birth to one of the most feared phrases in football: Revis Island. So, what exactly is Revis Island? In the simplest terms, it's where wide receivers go to disappear. Darrelle Revis didn't just cover his man, he shut him down completely. Quarterbacks learned quickly that throwing in Revis's direction was a recipe for disaster. The island became a metaphor for isolation, as Revis consistently left receivers stranded with no chance of escape. From 2008 to 2012, Revis was the cornerstone of the Jets' defense. He faced the best receivers in the game, and week after week, they were left frustrated and ineffective. The stats speak for themselves. Let's break down some of the matchups that defined Revis Island. Number 1, Randy Moss, 2009 season. In 2 matchups against the New England Patriots, Randy Moss, one of the most prolific receivers in NFL history, was held to just 4 catches for 24 yards when covered by Revis. Moss, known for his deep threat ability, was completely neutralized. Number 2, Terrell Owens, 2009 season. In a game against the Buffalo Bills, Terrell Owens, another Hall of Fame receiver, managed only 3 catches for 13 yards against Revis. T.O., who prided himself on his physicality and big play ability, found himself locked up all game. Number 3, Calvin Johnson, 2010 season. Megatron himself, Calvin Johnson, one of the most dominant receivers of his era, was held to 1 catch for 13 yards when facing Revis. Johnson, known for his size, speed, and catch radius, could not escape Revis' shadow. Number 4, Andre Johnson, 2010 season. Andre Johnson, often considered the most complete receiver of his time, was limited to just 4 catches for 35 yards in a showdown with Revis. Despite his route-running precision and strong hands, Johnson found no room to maneuver. These aren't just any receivers, these are some of the greatest to ever play the game, and Revis made them look less than ordinary. That's the power of Revis Island. It wasn't just about limiting catches or yards, it was about removing a key element of the opposing team's offense. When you played the Jets, you had to play around Darrelle Revis or risk having your top weapon erased. If you're enjoying this look into Darrelle Revis' Hall of Fame career so far, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more NFL content just like this. By 2009, Revis had established himself as the premier cornerback in the NFL. It was the 2009 season that truly solidified his legend. That year, he faced and shut down an unprecedented lineup of elite receivers week after week. Revis' combination of speed, strength, technique, and football IQ made him nearly impossible to beat. His 2009 season was so dominant that he finished the year with 31 passes defended, 6 interceptions, and a touchdown. Revis didn't just make plays, he completely changed the way offenses approached the game. Quarterbacks were hesitant to throw in his direction, and when they did, it often ended in disappointment. Revis finished second in Defensive Player of the Year voting, a rare feat for a cornerback. Revis' dominance wasn't just about stats, it was about his ability to take away an entire side of the field. This allowed the Jets to be more aggressive with their blitz packages, knowing that Revis could handle any receiver one-on-one. The confidence that Revis instilled in his teammates and coaches was unparalleled. The ultimate testament to Revis' dominance came in the 2009 playoffs, where he continued to shut down elite receivers such as Chad Ochocinco and Reggie Wayne, helping the Jets reach the AFC Championship game. Though the Jets fell short of the Super Bowl, Revis' reputation as the best cornerback of the game was cemented. What made Darrelle Revis so special? It's a question that's been asked countless times, and the answer lies in his mastery of man coverage. While many cornerbacks rely on zone schemes to help cover receivers, Revis thrived in man-to-man situations. He welcomed the challenge of going one-on-one with the best, and more often than not, he won. Revis possessed a rare combination of physical attributes and technical skills. His footwork was flawless, allowing him to mirror receivers' every move. His hands were strong and precise, enabling him to jam receivers at the line of scrimmage and disrupt their routes. And perhaps most importantly, Revis had an uncanny ability to anticipate what the receiver was going to do before they even did it. In man coverage, there's no room for error. A single misstep can lead to a big play. But Revis was meticulous in his preparation, studying hours of film to understand the tendencies of his opponents. He knew their routes, their moves, and their tells. By the time he stepped onto the field, he was already a step ahead. Revis' ability to dominate in man coverage was so profound that it changed the way teams approached the draft and free agency. Everyone wanted their own Revis Island, a cornerback who could lock down the opposition's best receiver and allow the rest of the defense to flourish. But as many teams found out, players like Darrelle Revis don't come around often. Even the greats face challenges, and Revis was no exception. In 2012, after 5 straight Pro Bowl seasons, disaster struck. During a game against the Miami Dolphins in Week 3, Revis tore his ACL, a devastating injury for any player, but especially for a cornerback who relied so heavily on speed and agility. The injury sidelined Revis for the remainder of the 2012 season, and questions arose about whether he would ever be the same player. The Jets, facing uncertainty about his recovery and contract situation, made the difficult decision to trade Revis to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2013. In Tampa Bay, Revis was still recovering from his injury, and while he played well, he wasn't quite the same dominant force that fans had grown accustomed to. The Bucs, looking to rebuild, released Revis after just 1 season, and he quickly signed with the New England Patriots in 2014. In New England, Revis had a resurgence. Back in top form, he helped the Patriots secure the top seed in the AFC and eventually win Super Bowl 49, defeating the Seattle Seahawks. Revis' performance in the Super Bowl was a reminder that even after a devastating injury, he was still one of the best in the game. After his Super Bowl victory with the Patriots, Revis returned to the New York Jets in 2015, signing a 5-year, $70 million contract. The prodigal son had returned, and Jets fans were ecstatic to have their star cornerback back where he belonged. Revis' return to the Jets started off strong, but as the 2015 season progressed, it became clear that the years and injuries were starting to take their toll. Revis was still a top-tier cornerback, but he wasn't quite the unstoppable force he had been during his prime. By 2016, Revis' play had declined, and he found himself facing criticism for the first time in his career. The Jets released him after the season, and Revis eventually signed with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2017. But it was clear that the end was near. After a brief stint with the Chiefs, Revis announced his retirement in 2018. Darrelle Revis' career may have ended, but his legacy as one of the greatest cornerbacks in NFL history is secure. He redefined what it meant to play the position, combining athleticism, intelligence, and technique in a way that as few have ever matched. Revis Island became synonymous with dominance, and it's a term that will live on in NFL lore. Revis finished his career with 29 interceptions, 139 passes defended, and a reputation as the ultimate shutdown corner. But more than the numbers, it was the impact he had on the game that truly defines his legacy. Revis Island wasn't just a place on the field, it was a state of mind, a challenge that few could overcome. Darrelle Revis changed the way we think about the cornerback position. He showed that with the right combination of skill, preparation, and confidence, one player can make an entire side of the field disappear. That's the legacy of Revis Island, and that's why Darrelle Revis will always be remembered as one of the greatest to ever play the game. Thanks for watching as we took you on this journey through the career of Darrelle Revis. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about Revis' legacy? Who do you think is the best cornerback in the NFL today? Let's keep the conversation going, and stay tuned for more in-depth stories of NFL legends and the moments that define their careers. As always, we'll see you in the next one.